Good afternoon, Internet. This is Craig with Hurry Up Pinball, and welcome to the Hurry Up Pinball Podcast. This is episode 1, and today we have a special guest. Some of you may know him from streams that I've had in the past. It is TVBen.
Hello.
TVBen, welcome to the first episode of the Hurry Up Pinball Podcast.
I've been looking forward to it. We've been talking about this for months.
How long have we been talking about this?
Early summer, I think.
Early summer.
I think we were driving up to Winston for one of the auctions in the summer, and you were talking about it, and I said, you should do it. You've got the audience. We did this on my channel, which I don't have near the following that you have. I enjoyed it.
Does anybody follow me?
Yeah, surprisingly.
Okay. Thank you for following me.
But, here we go. We popped. Yeah, we had fun doing it. I had a blast doing it, but it wasn't worth the effort because it was like 30 people.
I had fun, dude. I wanted to do that. Like, if I could do one of those a week, I would.
I would have kept it going. So let's hope your audience accepts it and we can keep going.
I hope you guys stick around.
Yeah.
All right. So
it's finally happening.
It is. It's finally happening. It took me a while to get off my ass. I mean, I had a bunch of stuff going on. I took a break from pinball. I take little breaks every once in a while. I need a little break. So took a little break from pinball. Been wanting to do this, and you know what got me off my ass is I ordered all the stuff for the rig. That'll do it. So you guys can't see it, but one of these days I'll put a picture up of this thing. How would you describe this thing, Ben?
Well, with Craig, my podcast, I threw stuff together, and I got it down to a science, but it wasn't as buttoned up and put together. Craig has to go the extra mile.
It's OCD, right?
Yeah, it's OCD. So there's a lot of it's really well put together. He kept sending me progress pictures, and it's like, you basically have it to where you can just wheel this out and go.
Plug it in and go.
I would always take 20 minutes to lay all the cords out and do all the stuff.
It's like the streaming rig. Like, I realized when I was setting up all the cameras individually and all that, like I didn't want to do it. It's too much work, and then I'd be like, I got to take this down. Now I plug in 4 cables. I can be ready to stream in like 5 minutes, which is awesome. So, like the other night, I just decided it was like 9:45, and I'm just like, I'm going to stream tonight. I just wheeled the thing over there, plugged it in, cables, checked the audio, done. So
what's going in the blank space over there?
What's going in? Oh, yeah, I forgot. Yeah. See, I'm slacking already. All right, here we go. All right, we're going to have a little countdown. Oh. So this is going to be
I look?
I think, you can watch. Oh, okay. This is going to be one of TVBen's favorite games, and at some point we'll talk about it. So even though this is the first episode, we're going to try and keep it to about 30 minutes if we can, and then I'll probably break this up into 2 episodes. So, all right, here we go. This is me and my...
we have a countdown.
There it is. All right. So what do you think it's going to be? What do you think it's going to be over there?
I would guess either Metallica or Dracula.
Let's see. It's Dracula.
It's Dracula.
There it is. All right. So at some point today, so I always like to find out like people's favorite games and stuff. But before we get to that, we'll come back to Dracula. But before we get to that, so TVBen, I always refer to him as TVBen on stream. So tell me, where did TVBen come from?
It was a multi-part thing and a joke back in high school. So I've been working in television for 29 years.
29 years.
A long time.
Aren't you like 32?
Not from the camera and screen I'm looking at over there. No,
the lighting's not that good.
We need it darker. I was actually working in TV in high school, and there was a lot of those infomercials back in the 90s. It was like, "Hi, I'm TV's Scott Baio, and I'm here to tell you about insults."
What's Scott Baio doing? You think he plays pinball?
It's a possibility. But there was a lot of those.
Baywatch?
Was he on Baywatch?
No. Do you think he owns one?
Would he?
I don't know. I want one. I want a Baywatch.
Yeah. We'd have to get the color DMD for it, though.
Yes, you got to get that.
So that was the thing then. It was always some celebrity from the 80s hawking something. And, hey, I'm TV's so-and-so with this. And it was also Lionel Hutz from The Simpsons and Troy McClure. Phil Hartman voiced both of them, but it was always, like, "Hi, I'm Troy McClure. You may remember me from such movies as Alien Nose Job." And so there was a lot of that, and we were in a photography class in high school, which was the best class ever, and we were doing a lot of that stuff, and I needed an email address at the time, I think for AOL, and so it was TVBen as that part of the joke, plus I worked in television, so it was a multi-part thing. It was stupid. It was 30 years ago, and it's still there.
It's stuck.
Yeah, the Gmail came along did the Gmail address with that, and then when it was time for...
That was back when you could get it.
Yeah. And now we might get, I think X might do a email now or something to go against Gmail.
Oh, who knows?
Either way, I've had that Gmail address forever. But yeah, and then all the YouTube stuff and all the stuff, and it was like, well, TVBen. That's who I am.
There it is. So now you know. When I talk about TVBen, there's the story.
Multi-part stupid joke.
Well, yeah.
Most of my life.
All right. So, let's see. Pinball. How'd you get started in pinball?
So my grandfather had a roller coaster pinball machine, not roller coaster tycoon. No, we're talking early 80s. So
I don't remember that one.
Oh, it was it was a great game. I know where it is. That's a story for a different episode.
You gonna buy it?
I have attempted. That's a whole other episode, and I know where it is. But he had it. He was big into. There was a paper in town called the Trading Post. Mm-hmm. And he would every night sit down. He had a chair and a phone, the whole setup over there, the big phone and all the stuff. And he would sit over there after dinner every night and just make phone calls. And he talked to these people like they were his best friends. So he was always just trading.
Yeah.
Trading a lawnmower, trading a car, getting stuff. So he ended up with this pinball machine. And so it was down in the basement. He had
what did he trade? Do you know what he traded for the pinball machine?
I have no idea. I wish I knew. But it was in great shape. It worked well. He had a pool table down there, so that was down in the basement. So I would play that pinball machine every time I went over there, all the time.
I got to look this pinball machine up now. I don't remember it. Roller coaster?
Yeah, roller coaster. It was 60s Gottlieb.
Gottlieb's. I know you love Gottlieb's.
Well,
you need to own one.
The 60s
No, you
ones.
own one.
I do own one right now.
Yeah,
it's in
Super
the garage.
Mario, right?
Yep, it's in the garage. But so that's what started it, and I always liked it. I went. I was at the arcade all the time in the 80s and 90s. Ladin's Castle. Then a guy we actually know that's in the Carolina groups, he lives in Virginia, Buddy Heron, had an arcade at the mall, my local mall, so I would go to his arcade. Didn't know him at the time. He knew my grandfather. Didn't know that until recently. Free? No. But so I used to go to that arcade. I loved playing pinball and all the other games, and then slowly but surely we get to adulthood and the possibility of having one. Troy, who runs the basement arcade, had a bunch of games in his house.
Who will be on this? We will get Troy in here soon.
You're going to have to drag him over here.
Yeah, we'll drag him over here.
He had a house that they were looking to sell. The realtor said, these pinball machines don't look good for viewings. So he dispersed a bunch of his games out, and he asked me one day, would you want to hold one of my games for me? And I said, sure. So once I had one in the house, that was it.
One day he'll loan you 3.
Oh, yeah, and then have to take them back because somebody else.
Because I'm out of space.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what started it. He had a Bram Stoker's Dracula, and he had a Whitewater Bram Stoker's Dracula. I can't remember what else he was dispersing, and I said, I'll take the Dracula. So we set it up, and then.
So I didn't know that's how your love affair with Dracula started. Is that how that started?
Well, it was that I've always liked. I liked that movie, so it was based on the movie from '93, and.
I have my favorite part of that movie.
I think, yeah, there's a bunch of those. But theme integration for that one I always thought was very good.
Yeah.
The music was right. The whole thing was just so well done. The shots are fun. The missed multi-ball.
Yeah,
that did awesome. It. So then he took it back. I found a Dracula in Myrtle Beach for $1,500 and went and dragged it down a bunch of stairs and had it.
What year was that?
That was 2011.
2011.
That's the one that's at the basement arcade right now. So I had that one forever. There was another one. That one was nice, and it actually had prototype ROMs in it. So we took those out and put them on the archive. So they're out there, but they were totally different than what the release ROMs were. There was some music differences, some animation differences. But yeah, I found a better one in, was it 2014? And upgraded, sold that one to Troy.
That one on the screen right there is actually yours. That is yours from our stream.
Okay, so that's the newer one.
Yeah, that's the newer one.
Yeah.
Just very pretty, by the way. The chrome on that thing, God, that is a game. I want that game back. The one I had is not one I wanted to keep.
Yeah.
No, the one I had some, it was beat up pretty good.
Well, if anything ever happens, that's the last one to go.
That's the last one to go. All right, cool.
I will hang on to that one.
Yeah, it's fun. There's just something about it, like, the games aren't long. That's one thing I love about that. See, we transitioned into the game right now. We're talking about the game already.
There we go.
Yeah, I love it because the games aren't long.
It's brutal.
And they're brutal. They're brutal. They're just mean. It's like when I was playing Walking Dead on stream last night, I kept thinking, I'm like, I like these short, brutal games. Turtles, short, brutal. Walking Dead, short and brutal.
That's why I can't get into those. I know you wanted to get into that later, but that's why I can't get into those long rule set games. I want to come up and play
like the Hobbit?
and go. Yes, that's one.
I don't want to fix a drop target.
It's just too much work, and you're thinking. I pinball is an escape. It's fun. You're supposed to be enjoying yourself. I'm not sitting there going, oh well, I've got to hit this ramp 6 more times and clap my hands and.
We had that one stream where I think I had Elvira, and it was Lance, Troy, you, and I, and we were streaming it. And Lance played for like half an hour on
it was like October 2020 or something.
And we got done. It was November.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, but sometimes I like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Now that's a game I'm not going to play 24/7.
But I don't think the rules are that deep.
No, and so I like playing that game in doses.
Yeah.
Right. But I can walk up to Walking Dead. I can walk up to Dracula. I can walk up to Turtles and know that if I don't play good, this shit's going to be over in like a minute and a half.
Yeah.
And then I can decide if I want to be terrible again or maybe get lucky. So I got lucky on Walking Dead about 2-3 times last night. So 167 million last night.
Not bad.
Started a couple things, but I like that. But I remember streaming Elvira one time. I played 2 games on it in an hour and 30 minutes.
So yeah,
and they were both great games.
Yeah,
but
I don't like that.
Yeah, but then I walk away for like a month.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I'll come back to it at some point.
Yeah, that's what, everybody's always said, how do these games do? And it's always, in a larger collection, yes. If you just have 2 games, no.
If you could only have 1 game, it's going to be Dracula, right?
Yeah, that's down to the end.
Yeah. You could stream for an hour and get in maybe like 30 games.
And every now and then, and that's you don't want it so easy that you just kill it every time you walk up to it. And it's difficult, but sorry, let me drop this down below my chin a little.
The voice of radio.
I'm hitting it. So, but you want, there's an achievability to, you can do it if you get after it, 5, 6, 7 games, you can get a couple of multi-balls going. And when you get Dracula going with the stack.
Yeah. I've done the stack once.
You get that 30 million
and I think
going.
I was just so excited I screwed it up.
It's so good.
It is. It's fun.
And you can walk away and feel good about it, or you walk away defeated after 5 games. Yeah. But it's achievable, but it's not easy.
So your favorite Barry Osler game?
Oh,
Dracula, by far.
I liked a lot of stuff he did. Fire was fun, but I don't think that's one you just want to have.
Lance has a fire, doesn't he?
Yes.
He does?
Yeah.
When's he going to fix it?
I don't know.
He went through like 2 weeks. I was proud of Lance. He started asking a lot of questions. It was good. Lance got techie.
Yeah.
So remember that time we were over at Lance's house and he said,
we were all just fixing his Jurassic Park.
Yeah, we were fixing his Jurassic Park, and I made the decision that I was gonna make his tilt super super tight on the game.
Right.
But I think I was laughing so hard I couldn't keep it a secret. So I think I ruined that. But I still got to fix his Walking Dead.
Yeah, sound issue.
So everything's working fine. We moved it. I think one of the connectors came off for the back box speakers somewhere. And
I live 9 minutes away, Lance.
Lance, let's make it happen, buddy.
I can come over.
This is the Hurry Up Pinball channel. I do tutorials on fixing things.
I barely remember how to get to his house at this point.
Maybe we should just message Jackie. We'll message Jackie and say, hey, Jackie, number? Can I think Jen does. Oh, I have it too. Because she does the Bells and Chimes tournament. She'll send me a message, be like, hey, is Jen going to play this weekend? So we need to fix Lance's Walking Dead.
We do.
At some point.
We will help you.
We can't come over there.
No.
We're going to have to wait till Talon's like 10.
Yeah.
And then we can go over and fix it. Because I don't know if he's still sleeping.
How old is that kid now? 3? 2?
I don't know. With a name like Talon, he's probably already proficient at archery, and he's probably really good at D&D. What else? He'll probably go out and be a race car driver.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
You got a name like that, you got it.
So was that taken from the stream you did at my house, like in October?
With the magic disappearing ball?
Yes. Was that's from that one?
Did you ever find it?
I haven't shopped it out. I don't need to.
We were playing and something happened. The ball just disappeared.
Well, now that one, when I shopped it out when I first got it, it did have one stuck behind there. I still don't know how. How did it get back
there? We were looking at everything. There's no way to get a pinball.
I took that mountain and castle off of the back, and there was a ball sitting there, and I was like,
I wonder how that damn thing got in there. I bet it's in there.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
I think you should leave it though.
Oh, I have.
Those are
It's
the
been
lost
4
souls
years.
of Dracula.
Yeah, that was like October 2020. I think it was the 30. It was right at Halloween.
Yeah, it was right at Halloween.
Yeah, it was either
I watched
30th or 31st.
I had to grab that picture because I couldn't get a good picture of the playfield,
Oh,
so I
yeah.
grabbed that off my stream.
Well, you can't get in trouble for taking
That's
like
right.
a
Right. There's no copyright violation.
IP
That's mine.
Yeah.
I made that.
no internet pinball database. People getting mad at you.
IPDB.
.org.
.net. I always screw that up when I type
Yeah.
it in. I always end up in some weird place and the writing's in a foreign language. I'm like, oh, get out of here.
Well, it's like you could buy it.
Yeah.
You wanna?
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, I've messed that up before.
All right. Fixing games.
Oh, yes.
Give us a rundown. How'd you learn how to fix games?
So working in television, a lot of electronic repair. I am an engineer, so I did a lot for a TV station in town. I got my foot into the door into engineering because I knew how to do component level repairs. And at that point in time, there was a lot of CRT televisions still. So monitor walls in the control rooms, you would have, 50, 60 old CRT monitors in there, various sizes. Some were black
It's like
and white.
one broken every day.
I would say maybe once a week. And, a lot of these, we're talking, this is like 2005. And a lot of these monitors were, I think, like 1983, 1984. So they'd been running for 20 years. But they had them down to a science on a lot of them. They were black and white, like security monitors. And, takes a certain input. It's an SDI input, analog. And I just started fixing the monitors for them. They knew, if you had vertical collapse, it was these caps. If you had horizontal collapse, we had all the parts, all the pieces. So I would just go in there and just solder.
Yeah.
And sit down and then get one
And
back.
if you ruined anything, like you didn't have to pay for it.
Right.
It was perfect.
Right. So I had already was decent with being able to repair monitors and stuff. So I could do that with the arcade games, and basic wiring and switches and stuff is not that bad. And then once you got into pinball, it is scary, and that's what everybody always says, that how do you make the jump? You just do it. You take a bunch of pictures and you go for it, and if it's yours, it's, you want it back working the way it was, but you can also do what you want with it. So that's how it just kind of progressed. And then with the basement arcade opened, you really had to start fixing stuff, because location gaming is, I mean, anybody that's got a pinball machine at their house knows what it's like. Think about it being on for 8 hours a day. And, the worst, I know they're meant to do it. These are commercial units. But when you walk by and you see a kid just sitting there doing
it's so hard. Like, I don't want to ruin the fun for the kid, because the kid's having a blast. You're like, hey, dude, that's not how you do it,
those
man.
coil stops are getting smoked.
They're getting smoked. Everything's getting hot. Please don't burn the coil paper.
There was one time I knew I was going to get Alien. And it was at the arcade.
I remember that.
And I was in there.
Alien? No,
he bought that one new. But I was gonna get Alien from him soon, and I was in there one day, and there was a kid just killing it. I was like, but so you basically, it's necessity. You have to get in, you have to learn it. And so I did a lot of repairs for with that for some friends, my own stuff. I did a lot of work. I did stuff with Abari for a while, about 2 years ago right now. But it's a lot of fun. I mean, it can be a job sometimes, but then you really sit back and you're like, I'm fixing a pinball machine. Like, you're not digging a ditch.
I was scared. I was scared to work on it at first.
But you just got to go.
Yeah, you do. I bought, the best thing I did was I bought that whooped Funhouse. It needed a playfield swap. It was dirty. I rebuilt the whole thing. I mean, everything. I went out and I was like, I got to buy a soldering iron. Yeah. Like, I can't work on this unless I have one. And I went out and bought one. And I tell people, if you're going to get into doing anything that requires soldering, if you're going to have a pinball machine, you really should have a soldering iron and know how to solder.
Well, in practice, they've even got kits now you can practice with. And
you know what I did? Did I tell you about that? You remember this? How I learned how to solder? I went to Goodwill and I bought like an old printer. Radio.
That's just desoldering stuff?
And I took it apart and I took boards out of it and I practiced.
That's smart.
Taking stuff off and putting stuff back on, because I mean it was like $4.
Yeah.
So, but I tell people if you're gonna learn to work on these, get a good soldering iron where you can set the temperature.
Yeah.
Because I tried doing it with a real cheap one. No, it was more trouble than it was worth.
Yeah, and you don't want, there's a balance of too hot. You don't want to, pull up traces or anything. But I was lucky. I did a few semesters at electronics school, and that's where I learned the component level stuff. And now, could I sit down and build a circuit? No. If somebody tells me what's in it, yes. I didn't get into design and I'm going to need a cap there to pull this and or a resistor to pull this to ground. But if it's drawn, I can do it. But so that really helped. But learning, and the other thing with soldering is, put the heat to the object, not the solder itself, so it will draw in naturally. And
the biggest thing I learned with for the longest time I kept trying to I couldn't get it to go, and then I realized no, you got to put a little bit on the soldering iron to get it flowing.
Yeah,
and
sometimes
and usually that made things so much easier because I was just
heat
in there,
the leg of the component.
Why is it not going? And then it's starting to turn and on those little boards, like why is it turning brown? I'm like, oh, I'm burning it. So,
and a lot of the older stuff, you've got lead solder, which is the good stuff, and the new stuff comes in. You can't get it to flow.
I do not
so
recommend
if you put
hovering over lead solder and taking a deep breath.
Oh yeah, don't do that. But a lot of the old lead solder, you've got to put on the new stuff to get it to kind of flow now. So there's some.
The things I hate the most are when I get a game and the power cord is messed up and I go to put a new one in because there's just it's like they took a golf ball of solder and just melted it with a blowtorch.
What's the old electronics trick? The bigger the glob, the better the job.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Not so.
No.
That could be bad. Man.
Yeah, it's people out there ask me all the time, like, oh, I've always wanted a pinball machine, but I'm scared to work on them. I don't know how to do it. These new ones, I've kind of moved.
The new ones are far easier.
Yeah, it's so much easier, and it's smaller stuff. Usually, if there's something wrong on a board, you're not going to fix it yourself because it's surface mounts, the tiny.
Oh yeah, the node board stuff. Yeah,
I've thought about trying to get into the surface mount soldering, but I don't know. I had to wear those goofy glasses and stuff. Tiny, man. But I think there's a market for that.
Yeah.
I mean, when some of these boards go bad, like the board in The Walking Dead, I think it's $500. We were talking about that at the auction.
Oh yeah.
Because the one that was there had
that audio visual one.
Yeah, the audio visual was. I looked. It's actually, I think it's $599. I looked. They were in stock at a couple places. I'm like $600 for a board.
Yeah.
Like you learn how to work on it. You can spend 40 cents on a part, $15 for shipping. But
well, what's the problem with the node boards now? It's not the actual components. It's the chips, right? You can't source.
Oh yeah.
Can't source that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Smart. Well, this was happening, almost 20 years ago. They kept saying, we're getting away from component level repair, even when I was doing that stuff, all back then.
It makes sense because it opens up pinball machines to more people. So, hey, we've diagnosed this. Your no board's bad. All right, it's $100.
A throwaway now.
Yeah, it's a throwaway, and just order it, and you plug in 5 connectors, put a couple screws in, you're done.
Yeah.
So it's not too bad.
But yeah, you got to do it.
You got to do it. Yeah.
It's like exercising or anything, which you can tell I do. You got to start somewhere and get going.
Bad.
Yeah. You got to jump in.
All right. Wow, man. Time's
Where
flying.
we at?
All right. So this is definitely going to be a 2-parter because we got some more stuff to get through. So let's do this, and then we'll take a little break, and we'll come back, and then we'll record the second half of this one. All right. Top 5 favorite games.
Top 5. All right. Well,
in
there's
no
one.
particular order.
There's one right there.
Is that number 1?
I don't know if I could actually rank them, but yeah, I do enjoy it.
Because you did play the new Metallica. I'm curious to
see
if that's going to make
was-
its way into your house.
Yeah. So I did. I got to go to the arcade secretly on Christmas. Are we talking about what day this is now?
I don't know.
Are we
It's
just?
a little after
We know
Christmas.
we're in between
December 28th,
the garbage week
December
between Christmas and New Year.
which includes my birthday.
Yes. Yep. Sorry, nobody cares.
Yeah, it's all right. I'm going to get a cake with that on it. That cake, you
Oh,
sent
the
me a
one I
picture
sent
of
you?
the cake,
Yeah.
and it said, sorry, your birthday's in December. No one cares. It's so
It's
true.
true. It's true.
It's between Christmas and
It's
New
this
Year's.
forgotten garbage week.
Everything's expensive. Everything's crowded. That's it.
Yeah.
Like one of these years, I'm going to go against the grain. I'm going to take a trip over Christmas.
Oh.
Somewhere.
Yeah,
Somewhere
you should.
nice.
You should.
Yeah, just once, because I won't be able to afford it a couple times.
But I did go to the arcade on Christmas night and got to play the new Metallica. I have the LE from the original run. Love it. I've always liked the game.
Great game.
I got it. I got the Pro. Sorry, I got the Pro in August 2013. August 3rd, 2013. So I did get it then, but then had the LE. But yeah, the new premium, man.
Thing's nice.
The animations are cool. The black lighting with the playfield and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay $400 extra for it. Like
your favorite
Things.
game.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't have to go switch out a bunch of plastics, but
Yeah.
it was really cool.
Nice.
I liked it. I got to play Elton John.
Yeah.
Oh, we're not talking about that now, are we?
Oh,
we're
no,
talking
we're talking
about
about
top
that
5.
later.
Top 5.
Yeah.
Sorry. All right, Elton John for later.
You're jumping ahead.
Yeah,
I got buttons.
You can turn it off right now. Yeah, top 5's tough, but I know Metallica, Dracula's in there. I've always liked Walking Dead. The
You
Getaway.
called dibs on it the minute I told you I was buying it.
Yeah, well,
Like right
even
away.
the auction one, I was like, well, I'll get it whenever you're done.
Yeah.
But The Getaway, I've always liked The Getaway. I think that's a really cool game.
That's High Speed 2.
Yes, that's a Steve Ritchie
Sometimes they come up for sale and it's like High Speed.
You're
and
like,
I'm thinking
which
it's High
one?
Speed 2. And I'm like, oh no, I want the other one.
game. It's The Getaway.
Yeah. It's a fun game.
Yeah, always liked it.
You like those turbochargers. I'm surprised you don't like Star Wars Premium because it's got that.
I never liked Star Wars.
No.
Now the movies, yes, and that's a whole 5-hour episode there. But
I would say which
original
ones?
runs,
Which ones?
yes, nothing new, all that crap. But I never got into the Star Wars pinball machine, and that's another one with rule sets
And
where
Steve,
it's just so.
Steve Ritchie.
I don't like everything he did.
Wow.
Most of what I
We're
like,
gonna talk about that
yeah,
later.
most of what he's done I liked, but it's never grabbed me.
No.
It's a lot of rules which I don't, as we said earlier, don't care for. So
Yeah, it's tough to line that game up and get to the Emperors.
Yeah.
It's brutal. I got close, man. I was missing one thing. It's always one thing. Dude.
well, I always got confused. Like you have to hit the center button and lock it in on the shots with the TIE fighters, and
multipliers.
I get all. Oh, that.
Yeah. The house is falling apart.
Oh God.
Yeah.
And let's preface again. I used to say this all the time when we did my podcast: is just because I'm saying it doesn't mean I'm right or you're wrong or whatever. That's what makes this all work.
In my opinion.
Yeah, this is what makes it all work. If we all liked the same thing,
World would be a boring place.
yeah, it'd be very boring. And
say that
pinball world would be very boring.
I say it all the time on stream. I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
get whatever game you want. You like a game, you want to try it,
And
you
don't
play
listen
it.
to everybody else.
Yeah, don't.
Most of the people posting on the sites they're just seeking like, oh, did I make the right choice by buying or liking this game? It's like, do what you want. Who cares?
I had a run where I bought some. I bought some second level tier games. Maybe I don't know if I call them second level. Maybe
Was
they
this
were
the
third.
Cruddy Game Craig comments?
Yeah. So we had a phase that was commonly referred to as Cruddy Game Craig.
Yeah.
What was in there? I know Elm Street was in there.
Oh yeah.
I needed to get that out of my system.
You
The
did.
best. I had the best experience on that though. I can't remember if I ever sent that video. I have it somewhere. I need to send it to you. But
Oh, where the coil locked on?
oh, the coil in Freddy's mouth locked on, and his eyes were just flashing like crazy.
Yeah.
And
smoke's
then
rolling out.
smoke started falling out of his head. And normally when that happens, the first thing you do is like turn it off, turn it off.
Yeah.
My first thing that I did, I grabbed my phone
record
really quick, and I'm like, I gotta take a video, and I shot it for like 2 seconds, and then I shut it off.
Yeah.
That was fantastic. I mean, that by itself made it worth owning that machine. I had fun on it.
Yeah.
it was fun.
What was part of your Cruddy Game run? That was one.
What else was in there?
You grabbed Super Mario for a while.
Super Mario, yeah.
Yeah.
I liked Super Mario. The one thing I don't like is it saves the progress
Yeah.
levels.
You
until
can turn
the
that
game
off. Yeah.
Can you?
You can turn that off. You can do the progression for
I don't
the
even know how to get
castles
in
or
the
whatever.
menu on Gottloob's anymore.
Yeah, it's not easy.
It's like turn the key to the right, press the left flipper button, and then hit start, and then it'll ask you what you want to do. So like,
But what's cool about them is the underside of the playfield has all the components listed, so that's
Yeah,
actually really
that is pretty
nice.
cool.
So you can actually look under there and know what you're looking at.
I hated the flippers when they're like this. They like stand up like this on those Gottlieb games. It's like you hit the flipper, you're like, I'm gonna trap up, and you're like, oh yeah, that ball ain't rolling off of there.
Well, but they had, a lot of that from the early 90s was copyright stuff. Remember like Tri-Ball on Data East, they couldn't say multi-ball. It was
that sucks.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was Tri-Ball.
Never owned a Stargate.
Oh,
You own a Stargate?
no. I had a friend that had one.
Yeah. I'm like worried that it'd be a nightmare.
Shoot the
to fix,
pyramid.
but, yeah. Shoot the pyramid. They should do a pin sound for that.
They did. Same guy did a lot of those older codes. I believe it's the same guy. He did, Day Day, Star Wars, and Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah.
And redid all the code on them to fix a lot of that. And I think it was either him or somebody else, but they fixed Stargate.
Oh, did
so
they?
it didn't yell "shoot the pyramid" every 3 seconds.
Yeah. That
There
was
was a lot
like
of that.
Ghostbusters. Originally, Ghostbusters, the Scolari brothers were out like every 10 seconds.
Oh yeah,
Like, oh my
it's the
God.
Scolari brothers.
Yeah,
It's
the
like,
Scolari, get 'em again.
Like, just
Thank
killed
God
them.
they fixed that.
Yeah.
I'm like, man. And it was just drop targets, Those got pretty annoying before they did that big code update, but that game got so much better after that update. I'm surprised you don't have a Ghostbusters.
I did.
Did you?
I had one early on.
Uh,
I actually had Ghostbusters Pro. Sorry, I leaned down. Ghostbusters Pro number 2.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. What'd you pick that up for?
I think it was like 5, somewhere in there.
Really? Did you
Yeah.
buy it used or new?
So this one, when Ghostbusters got released, revealed, whatever you want to call it, that first year at Southern Fried, that was the first place that they had them. So they had like 3 or 4 pros.
Is it a demo game?
It was Marco had them.
Nice.
And then somehow, some way, a guy I knew ended up with the one that was at Southern Fried, and then I got it. So, but it was actually like Ghostbusters Pro number 2, the second
nice.
one made. So
That's
that one was
cool.
kind of cool for a while, but it also had gotten swapped. You remember the Avengers Hulk LE? Somebody had taken Hulk, the green Hulk armor, lockdown bar legs, all that stuff, and put it on that. So it was that green armor
I don't know.
and all
I
that
don't
stuff.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
I have pictures of it somewhere, but
Yeah, I got to see those.
yeah, I had it for a while, but then it ran its course, and
I just realized I sidetracked you. This is what I do, but
yeah, that's fine.
top 5 games.
Oh yeah,
Dracula?
we're still Dracula,
Metallica.
Getaway.
Ice Speed 2, Getaway.
Yeah, Getaway's
What
a lot
else?
of fun.
There's 2 more. You got to give me 2 more, man.
Well, where are
You've
we
got
at
a lot of
time-wise?
games.
Oh, 32.
Yeah, we got to roll here in a minute. We got kids to shuffle around, lunch to eat.
Yeah.
My kids, not yours.
Yeah, well, that would be the surprise.
Can you go take care of my
life.
kids? I want to hang out and play pinball.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what else I've been hanging on to for so long. Jurassic Park's really up there. That new Jurassic Park is really
People
good.
are kind of...
Can you still call it new? I guess it's new compared to the Data East one.
Yeah. You know what? I wouldn't mind having one of the 30ths. I think I like that game enough. I don't want to spend the money on the 30th.
Is there just it's just different code?
Different. No, it's backglass. Some of the armor, the colors. It's your classic stuff. I know, but I like that game that
stuff.
much. It's good. It's so good. I have the Pro and I've decked it out with.
You
stuff.
did, yeah.
I'll just move it over to the other one. I'll buy the cheapest one I can find and move everything over.
How much is that shooter rod? The Amber shooter rod.
That is one of the best shooter rods I've ever made, by the way.
How much is it?
It's probably $200. 180.
I got to stop doing that.
Yeah.
We'll learn for the next episode.
Speak into the mic.
Can't. Well, we don't have a cover for it, so it's.
We gotta get some get the little filters.
Yeah.
All right. So what else? What else have you hung on to?
For a long time, yeah, I don't know. It's ACDC.
ACDC. Yeah.
I really do like ACDC.
Yeah.
There's a Steve Ritchie game. That's
the premium though, not the pro.
Yeah, pro.
You do. I don't want to. I saw Angus's face on there one time, and I'm like, dude.
Well, that was when it first came out. That was Face EDC, is what they called it. And then, Stern learned their lesson, and when they re-released, then they fixed it so it wasn't his face in the middle of the playfield. But the lower playfield's okay, but the premium's the way to go.
I always had problems with the stand-up targets getting stuck on the rubbers because they just get blasted.
Oh yeah.
So I made all those little brackets to hold them straight. And they get beat to crap.
But it is easy to take out and deal with. That's not a bad one.
Yeah, I still love that. I see that picture every once in a while where I was doing that and I was under the playfield. I think I sent you a picture of me flipping you off from hell underneath the playfield.
And then I did it back.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
that was pretty good. All right, so one more.
Is that 5?
No, that's 4.
That's 4. Well, we're running out of time.
I know. We're gonna wrap it up. We'll do least favorite game.
Oh,
and then we'll wrap it up.
Well, what's around me here? I do like Transformers, but I wouldn't put it in top 5.
No.
Definitely not. Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones?
Yeah.
Definitely the Stern one, right?
Yeah. Best one. Yeah, it's one I probably will never own, and especially the way the prices have gone, but I always liked it. Troy and I traded for, Temp traded 2013-ish.
Yeah.
I had a Tron Pro that I bought for $4,050 delivered.
I remember what I bought that from you.
Yeah.
That was a good deal too.
Yeah.
I was happy to get it at the price you sold it to me.
Yeah. Well, and that one, that's a whole other story too. But that one was from the same run and same delivery and everything. And I ended up with that one instead later. But yeah, I had Tron Pro. He was wanting to try it. This is before the arcade days and stuff. And he had an IJ. So we traded for what, like 2 months or something. So I had one at my house for a while. I loved it. But
I want to get better at that game, but I don't want to pay the price. There's a handful of games I'm not paying the prices for.
And that's a fun one too. The code isn't that deep. You don't have to. I don't want to have to think really hard about what I'm doing.
It's like Twilight Zone. There's a lot going on, but the code's not super deep.
Yeah, you're not sitting there like, oh god, you know what the goal is.
It's your
you started the mode.
Game.
Yeah,
I need that every once in a while. You play something like, I mean, you play Avengers. You play some of these games with the crazy codes and like even Turtles. Like I'm still learning about the damn pizza. Like put the stuff on the pizza and like.
Oh, you got it. I don't even know. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
I've never even tried.
I really need to sit down and read rules.
Yeah.
On it. I'm picking it up, but.
So are we doing hot takes here in a little bit too?
Yeah, we'll do that after the break. We're gonna have a little break and we'll come out.
I haven't even really looked at the screen. Oh, so that's an old picture of me from
judging.
That's
the
podcast.
one I threw up on stream.
I was listening. I was like, oh, what do you
remember? I made the one that had the chalkboard in the background said "Play Better."
Yeah,
I can still get that one. I might have to throw that up. All right, we'll do least favorite game. We'll take a little break and then we'll come back.
Okay.
Least favorite game. There he goes.
That could be a bunch. Hobbit's up there.
Hobbit. Okay.
Overrated, big time.
I owned the Hobbit.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it at first. I was wowed by all the lights and the stuff. Theme integration was really well done.
I'll give them that.
Field,
yeah, it's too far back.
It's too far back.
That's why I was
not enough going on.
No, and it's the way I always said it. It's like when you're playing pool and you've got a ball sitting right at the pocket on the other end of the table,
right?
And your cue ball is on the exact opposite end. That's what I always felt like playing Hobbit. It was like it's just too far away.
Shoot the orbit. Shoot the ramp up the middle.
Yeah.
Hobbit. What else would you throw in there?
As least favorite?
Yeah.
God, yeah. Hobbit's pretty bad. What else? Now, hate is pretty strong.
Not hate. Yeah.
Dislike. Yeah, there's a lot of dislike.
If it was in a lineup in an arcade and it was free.
Yeah.
And you don't want to play it, what game would it be?
Probably this one
Toy
right
Story?
Here. Yeah.
There you go.
Don't care for it at all.
People are mixed on that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I think that if I do the cap kit in that and switch it out and to juice up the flippers and the pop bumpers and all that, I think it'll play a lot better.
Pirates. Jersey Jack Pirates.
Oh,
don't like it at all.
Is he going to be pissed?
That's fine. And again, what did I say?
I know.
I'm not right and you're not wrong or whatever opposite of that. Like, it's fine. I just don't like it. I don't get the hype. It's like...
if the game was dramatically cheaper, would it change your opinion?
But I think no, it wouldn't. I didn't care for the gameplay because, again, it was too deep. But we were saying this yesterday, I think, talking about doing the show. And I said, it's Big Bang Bar right up there with that on rarity doesn't make it better.
But it will get you yelled at TPF if you nudge it and slap it a little too hard.
But the same thing with that. It's like, Pirates, they didn't make a ton of the LEs. Okay, well, that doesn't make it a good game.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's a reason, like especially with Big Bang Bar. Come after me. That game stinks. They didn't make a lot of them on purpose.
Yeah.
It's not any good. And just because they make 200 of them or something?
What's the other one?
Doesn't make it good.
Bowling King or what is it? Kingpin?
Oh, Kingpin.
Yeah,
they were going to redo.
Somebody posted, was it a Kingpin and a Big Bang Bar recently? And they together it was like $100,000. It was something insane. They wanted like $80,000 for one of the pins. Like
Big Bang Bar isn't worth that. Is Kingpin worth?
I don't know.
That much money now?
I don't know. It was insane.
What happened to that remake? They were working on it because then people were buying translights and stuff. Doing it? No, it was who were the guys that were going to do Pinball Circus? Those two guys.
Oh.
I think they were going to also do.
Circus would be kind of cool. It'd be too expensive. But.
Well, that's another one. You need like a deep.
Yeah.
You need a deep collection for that. But
yeah.
Have you played Pinball Circus?
Yeah.
The real? Did you play it at
Hall of Fame?
Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame.
So they did a prototype one that they had brought to Southern Fried a couple times, and I got to play the prototype one.
Cool.
And I actually got it. You got all the way to the top. You did your thing, and then you're done.
Missed the top. I didn't get to the top.
You're done.
I think the one at Hall of Fame, it gets played so much when it's working.
Because there was only, what, 2?
Yeah, there's only 2.
And
And one of them's missing now.
Oh.
They can't find it.
Oh, I thought like a collector had it.
Maybe.
Oh.
Maybe it's like secret art, you know, where people like illegal, they steal them and then they sell them.
We need to find out who has it.
Yeah. All right, so I think we're going to take a break now. We're approaching 40. We're over 40 minutes, man.
We did it. We'll
take a break. We're going to grab some food, and then we will be back and do the second part of this episode. So we got some latest release talk coming up, some hot takes, 10 pinball questions with TVBen.
Oh.
And then we'll talk pricing. We'll probably talk pricing before we get into that fun stuff.
Okay.
So, all right. I am going to kick it over to the end screen, and we will be back in just a little bit. Thank you for watching, and we will talk to you soon.
See you next time.